and accompanied by his wife Vicky Johansson. I would also like to thank the President of the Madonna Dei of the Martyrs, Port Pirie, and I think it's Our Lady of the Martyrs of Port Pirie, Italian community, is that right? And Mr. Dino Gadaletta and his wife, who is the secretary. Dino is the president, Mrs. Elizabeth Gadaletta. I would also like to acknowledge the president of the Associazione Nazionale Carabinieri d'Italia, Roxana Bianco, and our Carabinieri, who were welcoming you at the door, Mr. Giacomo Comegna and Luigi Vella. Representing the Marinai Association, Mr. Paul Shangalepri, accompanied by his wife, Nina. Representing Il Globo, Mr. Giorgio Grifoni and his wife, Margherita. I'd also like to thank the South Australian Italian Historical Society President, Mr. Joe Giritano and his wife, Jenny. And I'll be able to show you some of their handiwork a little bit later. First of all, before I go into anything, I would just like to make a mention and just mention that our secretary of our committee this evening is not able to be here. She has been unwell, and she has just been, even though she hasn't been well, she's been just such a great help in organising this evening and helping me get to where we are today. So I just needed to actually acknowledge her. I'd also like to thank my committee for all the support that they've given me this evening. It's a very special evening this evening, 60 years of a procession. That's a long time. And I'm sure there's quite a few of us in this room who were probably there in those very, very early years. I know I was, and I remember them very fondly. Certainly the face of our procession has changed tremendously over the years. Obviously the main thing is the number of people that attend, which is dwindling. And I guess my first year this year as president, and if I may say, I'm not a person that's gender focused so much, but I am going to mention it. First female in 60 years, and I think that's quite something really. No, don't get a round of applause, but hopefully now that I've broken the ice, we might see a little bit more, because I think it does help to have a little bit of variety and bring different ideas and different thoughts to any association. So I have I guess my own thoughts on how I want to go and where I want to take the committee and where I want to also take our association. And certainly what I want to do is make sure that we inspire more of our next generation to come along and join us and keep going for another 60 years. It's clear to me that we are, as I said, dwindling. Our numbers are dwindling from the original people who were with us, and it's very sad if we lose this little piece of Molfetta that we brought with us when we migrated here, and what our forefathers created 60 years ago. We actually have a family of the first original president here this evening, and his name is Michele Bini, and we certainly have his family over there. I think there's great nieces and niece and great nephews, and there's a whole table over there. So we pay our respects to him as well. I don't want to drag it on with too much talking, but it's really important, I think, for us to realise that if we don't, if the next generation doesn't come along and help us carry forward, we will get smaller and smaller. I'm proud to say that I've already seen a glimmer of hope in that some of our young statue bearers are now starting to take a little bit more interest. We have quite a few of them here this evening. There's quite a few on this side. I'm not sure if any of them are over there, but yes, I think they deserve a round of applause. As I told them, and I'll tell everybody here this evening, without them, nothing happens. Without them, the Madonna goes nowhere. So they are a very integral part of our whole process, of our whole day. And really, you know, one day a year, as I said to them, isn't enough. We need them to continue on throughout the whole year, just so that we can keep going and keep this tradition alive, if that's what we want. And I think we do. Do we want it? Yes. Do we, do we want it? Do we really want to keep going? So please come and help me. Please come and help our existing committee, because we again, our committee is not getting any younger. None of us are, but we certainly, with a little bit of enthusiasm from that next generation, we will go forward. And it's not easy to commit regularly and commit time, week after week, month after month. However, it is a commitment to something that you will make the commitment if it's something that you really want and you really believe in. And if we really want this, we can keep it going. So with that, I'd like to thank my committee, as I said once again, because without them, we're all good at organising things, but we really need to be of one mind and of one spirit to actually make a success of anything. And I believe that we've been doing that time after time. This year's been a really amazing year. All of our functions have been booked out. We've really enjoyed all of our functions, and we've enjoyed having all of you, and I enjoy having you all here. It's like one big happy family, and I love it. So thank you for coming. I want to thank our visitors from Port Pirie this evening. We have, obviously, as I said, Dino and Elizabeth, who have joined us from Port Pirie, and they travel down year after year after year, and we are so grateful and we are so honoured. Thank you. We also have Maria Fasciano, who comes down. She's been coming down quite a few years, even though she hasn't been well as herself this year, but she's made the effort to be here. Thank you. And I think, I'm not 100% certain, but I think I saw some other people from Port Pirie as well. Yes, over there. Thank you very much for taking the trip and coming down. Yes, a round of applause. Thank you so much. We're so honoured to have you. With that now, as I said, I'm not going to drag the speeches on forever and a day because we all get bored. We want to dance. How's this band? How's Rose? Rose Messi and her band, No Two Ways, are going to entertain us this evening. And they've already got off to a great start. And we're going to continue on, and we're going to boogie straight after. I'll shut up. Okay, so we're going to get on with the next part of our presentation this evening. So we actually had organised Father Gauci to be our priest at the procession and to do the novena. The novena, as you know, is going to be held next Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So Wednesday we do the novena for the immigranti, for the immigrants. Thursday we're going to do it for the sick. And then Friday we do for those of us who have lost loved ones and for those who have passed on. So very important prayer evenings. Then we have a day off Saturday. Well, not the committee because we've got to work. And then on the Sunday we have our procession, which starts at 2 o'clock. We will then go down to where the steps were in the original fishing steps and pay our respects and homage to the fishermen and to everybody who started this whole process. We will lay a wreath, and from there we will proceed to put the Madonna on the boat and then come back for a mass at 4 o'clock. And then that will go for roughly about an hour, and then at 5 o'clock we've got the Lions group who are here this evening, and thank you to Livio and his team, Tony Saluno as well. They are going to be cooking for us, which is something we haven't done before. So this year they're going to cook some pasta, and they're so delicious, you've got no idea. They're very experienced, they've been doing it for quite some time, and they do it very, very well. So we're going to have pasta, and we're going to have barbecue sausages and salads. So please stay around after the procession and join us for a little bit more party time, and then we've got to get to work again and clean up. So I think with that we will, we'll talk about Father Gauci. So Father Gauci was booked to come and do our Mass for us and our novena, but as you will know, he has been appointed by the Pope to be the Bishop of Darwin and Northern Territory. And yeah, what an honour. And he is such an amazing, beautiful person. So I was lucky enough last week to grab him. He has a few words to say.
Cari amici, auguri per 60 anni di anniversario di questa festa. Mi dispiace che non posso venire con voi, perché come sapete celebrazione per voi. Grazie a tutti. And celebrating the feast with you last year. I wish you well. I would like to be with you this time, but as you know, I've been asked to be the Bishop of Darwin, so sadly I cannot be with you. So please happy anniversary, and buona festa. Enjoy. God bless you all.
Thank you, Father Gauci. You know, he will be sadly missed, but he's gone on to do, you know, bigger and better things. And with a bit of luck, once he gets, you know, works into that position, we might get him back here, who knows. So what we've also done, and thanks to Roxana Bianco and Giacomo, who's also our Carabinieri, they kindly put a presentation together, a slideshow for us. And what we did was we managed to find all the very, very old photos, as far back as we could, and I hope you enjoy. That's going to roll all night, so please enjoy and remember the good old days. While that's rolling, I would like to also continue on with the presentation, and I would like to invite Angela Evans to please come up and assist me. Thank you. And I would like to invite Antonio Abracevento, please. Antonio has been a dedicated worker for this club and this association for many, many years. Antonio? Antonio, please come here, because I think I need you to give a bit of a speech. Antonio has been with this club longer than, you know, most of us can remember. He's done 10 years in one long stretch this time. He's been off and on and off and on. And so this time we recognise him for his 10 years, and it's a life membership now. So he's with us for life, regardless of where he thinks he's going to go, because he's not going anywhere. So, Antonio, would you like to say some words, and maybe a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
You've got to no, just grow. Stretch.
Okay. Welcome you all. I haven't prepared any speech at all, but the only thing I would like to say that I wish that another person who was with me here tonight, which is most of miss, to share this with me, and she just missed out one of these just for a couple of years, because she joined me in the committee, and I'd like to thank all the past committee members, and I joined the club since 1963, and like Anna said, on and off, I've been dedicated most of my life with the Molfetta and Molfettese people, and I like to thank them all, and thanks to the new committee, I mean with it, they are a great bunch of people, and that's all I've got to say. And enjoy the evening, all of you. Thank you.
Yes, Antonio made a very important point. In the last year or so, we have lost a couple of committee members who were extremely dedicated, and like, you know, we're talking like many years and years. One was Teresa, who we love dearly and remember her constantly. You'll see her photos even throughout the slideshow. We also lost another dear, not even a year, and that's Frank Andriani. Frank was Vice President for many, many years, and he is also very sadly missed. You just lose all those years of experience, and, you know, like I said, our committee is dwindling, and that's when you really notice how much work individuals put in to keep this going. And you know, there's many before that as well. There's also Lawrence Tavella, who also another great committee member who devoted many years as well. So look, for all of those, I can't mention them all because right now I can't remember them all, but you know, my heart goes out to everybody. I hope they're resting in peace and looking down and proud of what we are doing and carrying on their legacy as well. So I would like to now, as I said, pay homage to the past presidents. So I'm not going to name them. If you would like to see who they are, and you can see the years that they dedicated, it's on the back of the menu. That will explain, give you a rough idea of their years of dedication as well. And I can only hope that I can follow in their footsteps and carry forward the same love and not only for the Madonna but for the community, because that's what brings it all together. It is the people, and I want to carry on their legacy with the love and the care and the respect for all of you and everybody else as well. And with that, I'd like to acknowledge our living presidents now, because we're fortunate to have 3 of them with us here this evening. So if I may invite Tony, please, to assist me with, sorry, I'm not saying Tony, who's Tony? David Pisoni, please. So I'd like to invite Giuseppe Anese, please, to come forward. What we did and what we instigated with Joe and with Jenny from the South Australian Italian Historical Society was to get a little bit of a snippet of what their thoughts were while they were, come over here Giuseppe, while they were presidents. And yeah, so and so I just wanted to get their ideas, because once people have passed, we lose that. We don't know what their thoughts were or what their feelings were and what their passions were. So we created a little snippet here, and hopefully we can, we didn't have much time, but with more time, maybe over the next year, we might develop that a little bit more and start to create some sort of a history book that we can then say, well, this is what happened over that 60 years. If you would like, when you have a moment, when you want to stretch your legs, please go over here on my left-hand side. You'll see all those up there for you. They're on display, so you can go and take your time and have a read. Giuseppe, congratulations for what you did for the committee. We much appreciate it. Thank you. Sam Adelaide, please, or Sergio Adelaide, as he used to be known. Thank you, Sam. Sam also did many years with us, from 2003 to 2009, so there was 2 3-year stints. And Sam, thank you very much for everything you did, and I hope I can follow in your footsteps. But in my own shoes, in my own way. And can we have Pino Boccassini, please? Pino was president from 2009 to 2018, so that was 3-year stints. Pino has, he sort of thought he was walking away when he left his role as the president. But I have to say, and I really, really want to thank you, Pino, for everything that you've done for me and the support that you've given me just of late. Because I did ask Pino to stay on the committee and to, sort of keep helping us, and he said, no, you need to do it in your own way, and I don't need to be hanging around. And I said, but if I need your help, will you please come back? And then when Tanya took sick, it was only not even 2 months ago, I really was floundering, because with my own everyday life, it became really, really hard to get everything done to get to this day, to this point. So, and without hesitation, this man just walked straight back, help me, can you do this, can you do that, can you bring this, can you, whatever I asked, he's done. And Pino, I thank you so much from my heart. Thank you very much. up together. We lived next door when they first came from Italy for quite a number of years. So, you know, we didn't see each other for a long time because he moved, you know, their family moved away, and so then we didn't see each other, and then now we've come back together again after all these years. So it's a privilege. Thank you. Please let's come up together and take a photo. Thank you.